Through a lot of this, if you look at the facts of the matter, the evidence shows that when I broke the law, I tried to turn myself in every single time. There's a reason that I was trying to do that. When I wasn't breaking the law, I was being ignored, I was being blown off, I was being abused. My friends who claimed that they loved me, who called me family, weren't treating me like family. They weren't treating me like someone that they love. Miss Peaches, it wouldn't have taken her all of that time after Natalie died to actually go in with somebody who was her family, someone who she actually loved. It wouldn't have taken that much time for her to go in with them. If somebody was actually family, when I went to her for help in December of 2016, if she actually thought of me as family, she would have helped me then. That was a whole year before Natalie Bollinger was shot in the head. You know why Natalie Bollinger was my best friend? Because she wasn't just words. When she said she was going to help me, she actually helped me how she said she was gonna. She didn't change it at the last minute and say, oh no, Sean, you just need to do this without even knowing anything about the situation. Natalie was my best friend because when I explained to her the situation, she listened to understand. And the solutions that she came up with the same solutions I did without me even having to say, hey, this is the help I need. She's already volunteering literally the help that I needed. I put my wrists up. Hands up, don't shoot. Me not having anyone actually in my corner, more than just words, more than just I'm sorry or the empty promises. After all those months of taking abuse, and people who claimed that they loved me, claimed that they were going to come forward and tell the truth, that they were going to write a police report, they were going to this and they were going to that. This is months after Natalie Bollinger's killer was found. And these people still hadn't come forward. And then they wanted to play victim when I recorded conversations with them where they admitted the things that they should have fucking spoken out about at the very beginning. But then again, what they admitted to in those recordings shows that they were the ones who fucked up. It shows that I did try to get the help that I needed and I was blown off. There's all these things that you guys think are so easy to do. You know what? When you've got a steady address that you can have your mail sent to, that's a big help. I haven't had that since Natalie was killed. I have not had a steady address since Natalie was killed. With Natalie Bollinger, I did everything that I could to try to get a court date. People don't want to pay attention to the fact that the consequences that I'm having to deal with are long term. Them not coming forward about what they know. Me being forced to show it on the internet, to make these phone calls and post these phone calls on YouTube. Having to do that to try to show people evidence, to try to show the truth to the public that is abusing me. I get told I needed to think this way or I needed to think that way. Miss Peaches, one of the things that hurt me so much, you say words shouldn't hurt, but they really do. I tried everything I could to try to get help stopping the abuse before Natalie was killed. Miss Peaches was always too busy. At first, it was after the kids go to bed, and that's understandable. But then after the kids went to bed, it was either drinking or smoking pot. And in either case, whether they're drinking or smoking pot, they end up playing Diablo 3 or Diablo 2. Diablo 3, I'm pretty sure. Like that doesn't help me at all. There's only two game controllers. Her and Raj are sitting there playing their game. I'm going, man, you know, I'm not going to get the help. Nobody's going to listen. Nobody's going to listen. For over a year before Natalie was killed, I tried to get people to listen. I tried to get my friends to listen. I tried to get the police to listen. I tried to get Natalie and Alicia and Maddie to listen. I tried to get help. I wasn't stalking some little girl who wouldn't touch my penis. But that's what my predators want to play on. They want to pretend, because somehow magically that justifies all of their sins against me. People say, you can't use autism as an excuse, Sean. I'm not. I'm pointing out the fact that my predators have used it as an excuse to deny me my rights as a human being. I'm disabled only when it allows them to deny me rights. I'm intelligent only when it allows them to deny me rights. And what rights are those? The rights of an intelligent person as well as the rights of a disabled person. They're supposed to overlap. The reason they're supposed to overlap is because somebody who is disabled is at a higher risk of victimization. Add on more risk factors. What are most of these risk factors? People's bias, their assumptions. If somebody is not physically attractive, yeah, they're at an increased chance of being victimized because people are less likely to care. If they're a male, same thing. People are less likely to care. If they're homeless or broke, again, people are less likely to care. If you call them mentally ill, people are not only less likely to care, people are more likely to victimize that person because they're afraid. Like this guy who shot 5 homeless people, and they call him mentally ill. What mental illnesses does he supposedly have, first of all? And second of all, are you going to say that everybody who kills somebody out there is mentally ill? Because you've got a lot of cops who are severely mentally ill. You got a lot of judges who are severely mentally ill. There's what the law says, but then there's what they get away with in their courtroom, like my last court date, obviously. That judge committed quite a few felonies. Felonies! And I recorded it and I put it on my YouTube channel. Yes, that judge committed felonies. It's a small town, folks. If you've never lived in a small town and you don't understand small town politics, that's not my choice or my decision. Your miseducation or your assumptions are not my fault. If you want to believe that every Jewish person out there is trying to steal all your money, that's not my fault that you think that way. At the same time, if you're going to assume somebody must be guilty of being a thief because they're Jewish, well, at that point, it is my job to step in and say, hey, whoa. Now, here's the thing. We've got laws that prevent you from doing that to Jewish people, don't we? But we don't have any laws to stop you from doing that to the homeless. And then there's the things that you're allowed to do in your own house that you're not allowed to do as a homeless person. You're not allowed to pee. You're not allowed to sleep. People say, oh, well, Sean, you chose this. You chose this. No, I didn't. I did not choose this. This was thrust upon me at a very young age. And just because you have been lucky enough to not have to live through it does not mean it didn't happen. Now, there's all these things like Sword and Scale and Rob Gavigan and all these other sites on YouTube and on the internet where they made a thing about Natalie Bollinger and sell you all the same bullshit and lies. After 5 years having my entire life destroyed, and people still want to tell me, well, you know, they found Natalie Bollinger's killer, like I didn't know first. I found out on the 8th of February from Jai Rogers and Detective Peterson that they found Natalie's killer. They didn't release that to the public until the next day. Yes, I know that they caught the guy who killed her. That does not stop the rest of the abuse that I have gone through over that slander. Because, mind you, the abuse did not start when Natalie Bollinger was killed. The abuse started over a year earlier when I was in Virginia. And Natalie and her sister were fucking embarrassed. Embarrassed. That's what this is over. A busted vehicle and two adults who were embarrassed. Two adults who were on drugs. Now, mind you, I didn't go telling everybody about Natalie Bollinger's heroin addiction. I didn't go running my lips about any of that horrible shit. I didn't go running my mouth about what Ted Bollinger had done. I kept her secrets. These people who are mad at me, they can stay mad. They should not have pounded all of their bullshit onto me. They want to be angry with me about their secrets being out there now. Well, guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody believes me anyway. Because of the mentally ill tag. So what does it matter? Who's going to stop it? Brandon Ratner knew a lot. And he should have come forward. Instead, I had to record conversations with him. Same thing with Miss Peaches. Same thing with Alyssa Rainwater. Same thing with Shannon Alvarado. I shouldn't have had to do these things. Now you can see, looking on the news, you can go through and find a lot of these names, and you can see that a lot of these people that I personally knew, yes, they have been on the news. The ones that I said are dead are actually dead. You can look this shit up. But isn't it easier just to not take a look and to have somebody that you can victimize whenever you want, that nobody's going to care if you victimize them or not? You can victimize them over and over and over again, and people are just going to pretend like he's schizophrenic, just pretend like he's making it up, just pretend like he's playing victim. It must be magically okay. You can victimize me, and then you can play victim and win, because I was called mentally ill, and I don't have a guardian or a family member there in person. There's been a few people that wanted to have their opinions, but didn't want to follow along with the situation. Wanted to tell me, well, I thought your sister was helping you. She was. She was also intimidated. She was followed by the cops, and she was threatened. Now, whether or not that's true, I don't actually know, because I wasn't there. A lot of people have told me that they have been threatened and harassed. A lot of people. A lot of people said that their Facebook was trashed and that people were destroying their Facebook. People who were friends of mine, blaming me for it because they spoke up. They said Sean would not kill somebody. And then next thing you know, you got a bunch of fucking internet nut jobs who are attacking their Facebook, calling everything spam. They tried to do the same thing to these people they were doing to me. Keep you on a Facebook ban and destroy your Facebook altogether. And they tried hard. By law, I'm supposed to have an advocate for all of this. For every police interaction, for every time that I need to go in to try to get my paperwork from Cindy Taylor of Chapel Housing Authority. I need someone there and present because I am too easy to victimize. I am too high risk. When it comes to people who are at high risk of victimization, I am way the hell up there. Now, I fit into the top 4, I believe, categories. 4 of the top 5 categories of most likely to be victimized in the United States. I am very likely to be shot by a police officer. I am a lot more likely to be shot by a police officer than a black man. I am more likely to be shot by a police officer when I am unarmed than a black man with a gun is. I want you to consider that. Run the numbers yourself. Look at the statistics. Yes, absolutely. I'm disabled. I'm homeless. I'm a male. I'm a former foster child. But then again, what do you see? You see a white male. You see the oppressor. You see the oppressor. You see the oppressor. You say, Sean, you can't judge all women. But then you want to judge all men. All men are the same. All men are the same. I hear this so often. No, the fuck we're not. Just like not all women are the same. There's a lot of women out there who are just straight up man haters. There are also a lot of women who are completely subservient. I know women who are the picturesque, old-fashioned wife. They do the cooking, they do the cleaning, they take care of the kids, the dad goes to work. They go to church. The wife is taught that she's supposed to be subservient to the husband, and they have a classic Christian relationship. We're not all the same. Not all women out there were raped. Not all men out there are predators. Some women are predators, and we've been seeing more and more often that there are a lot of female predators. Sexual predators, physical abusers, as well as financial abusers. TikTok is full of those women. Women bragging about doing those things, bragging about destroying a man's vehicle because they didn't get what they wanted, bragging about lighting a man's house on fire because she didn't get a big enough wedding ring, bragging about these things. And then, of course, you see them get all prettied up. One woman explained to me, she said, Sean, I want to tell you something about makeup. A lot of women will tell you that they put on makeup for themselves because it makes them feel better. And it does. And a lot of women will say that, they're just doing it out of routine, and that's true also. But the reality of it is that girls put on makeup so they can be prettier than the next girl because it is a competition. So anytime a woman tries to make you feel like you're a bad person because she's putting on makeup, you just remember that it's her competition and not yours.